The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hi, this is Mia Mosinzia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based upon a real-life relationship, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon. Do read it. I'm sure you'll love it. It's www.miamosinzia.com and www.amazon.com/Mia
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartradio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, check out the latest novel by well-known award-winning author Mia Mosinzia of No Time for Love called Missing, an extraordinary relationship between two ordinary people based on real-life events that go through 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and the ones you love be the first to go missing. Check out the book on Amazon and other retailers, available on all formats today. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com and over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartradio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, TuneIn, Pandora. Heard worldwide on Geo7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and Overcast, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with a terrific, multi-talented actor, and also he's been in quite a number of productions. He comes from the other side of the pond, which is Sweden, and he's been in the States for quite some time, and he's been in Betray, bennettssong, Moving Parts, and he also began martial arts at the age of 7, so you don't want to get this guy mad, first of all. Okay? So he's also founder of Painter Creek Productions, and also he was in Agromonsgate, Eternal Code, My Breaking Point, Deceitful, and he's worked with a number of great actors and actresses like Melnovak, Richard Tyson, Billy Wirth, Tom Sizemore, Dennis Haskins, Corbin Bernsen, tarareid, and a lot more. And live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios in beautiful somewhere in downtown Michigan, along the Motor City, and brought us Harley with, ladies and gentlemen, the very, very multi-talented Harley himself, Harley Wallen. Harley, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Mike, how are you? Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Well, it's great to have you on board as well, too. And, I've seen some of your wonderful films like Betray, bennettssong, Moving Parts. And, of course, you're born in Sweden. You've been in the States for quite some time. And you have a really interesting story to tell. I'd like to hear more about that. You also began as a dancer on a Swedish TV show, also founder of Painter Creek Productions. And you also been in Agromonsgate, Eternalcode, My Breaking Point, and more, and worked with Melnovak, Richard Tyson, tomsizemore, tarareid. And before we get into all that, tell us how I first got started, Harley.
Well, that was actually it. I was a martial artist and a break dancer, and I keep hearing the stories my mom told me. I was 5 years old. I was watching the old Tarzan movies with Johnny Weissmuller, and I said I was going to move to America. I was going to become a movie star. And it was kind of funny because I didn't follow that path at all until, with my breakdancing and with my martial arts, it kept bringing me opportunities. So we did a youth against violence film, but I wasn't really bit by the bug. And then I got cast to be on Solstolarna, which is a big cult show in Sweden. And it was originally just supposed to be as a dancer. It was a cabaret style show. And when they needed bit players to go buy suntan lotion and all those type of things, they would ask us instead of bringing in actors for those. So I started hanging out with the actors, and I started seeing the process of acting, and I just fell in love with it.
Wow.
So that was how it started.
Wow, that was amazing. I can imagine you coming to America. Me, Tarzan, you, Jane. Need suntan lotion.
It was really interesting. When I first moved here, I had really long hair. I had that Fabio look, and I kept getting typecast. And I remember at the time asking my manager, because I wasn't paying my bills with getting just the bit player stuff. So I asked my manager, what do you think I can do to get some kind of steady work? And he said, "What if you cut your hair off, you'll be more mainstream and you'll be more open to other things." And the funny thing is, when I cut my hair off, it's like I lost a bit of my confidence because I was so used to having my long hair. I didn't know what to do with it. So it took me a little while to figure out. But while I was figuring that out, my corporate business side, I just kept getting promoted. And
okay, Harley, you still with us? Harley, are you still with us?
in fighting, and that was kind of it.
Wow, that is amazing. I got to say that. And of course, if you cut the hair off, it's like, I tried that long hair. So you're like, after a while, but I know what you mean. Short hair is better. And what was that? And what else was that one precise moment that influenced you? Say, this is what I'm going to do the rest of my life. It's like, you had these moments here, but what was that one precise defining moment says, this is it?
Well, I was working as a VP with the local YMCA running their personal training division, and they laid me off because they were downsizing. And I remember I looked at my wife. We had made a couple of short films, and I said, I don't know why I feel like I need to pursue the filmmaking. We have a little nest egg aside. What do you think? And she said, if that's what you feel you should do, let's go for it, because this probably be the only shot we have at it. It was really weird because it was such a scary conversation to have, where you really don't know if it was going to go or not. The first couple of films, not even making a paycheck, putting everything that was us into the films, not knowing if it was going to be our last film or not. But it taught me a lot of really valuable lessons. It taught me that if you put everything that you have into what you do, you can be successful. It's not all about money. It's sometimes about effort, heart, guts. It's about all these other intangibles. And we talked briefly about Joe before this, my manager, Joe Williams. And it's also about having the right team around you. And I'm blessed to have found Joe, who's been amazing and taking such good care of me. That's a big part of it too. Having my wife, who's this really stable cornerstone, having Joe, who's a really stable cornerstone, and some of my business partners that have been supporting me since we started this journey.
Mm-hmm. And it's amazing too. And of course, experience also goes into it as well. Like say you build some experience, and you can also, take it to your future employers, future investors, whatever it is. This is what I've done. Although it may have been like, a flop of most people's eyes, hand and everything. It's also an experience. They can say, hey, at least it did something. I mean, I can relate to some things where I got in some ventures, and I can speak for many others. They got in ventures.
Yeah.
Some have succeeded, some have failed, but the ones that failed and say, hey, I went in there, got some experience. Now let's learn from it.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, that's what it is. I think one of the things that I can recommend to any filmmaker out there is make short films until you get all of your stuff together, because the risk is much, much smaller there when you're playing with money, so that when you eventually do scale up and make the feature films, that you have a strong system in place so that you don't flop when you're playing with big investors' money.
Mm-hmm. And of course, speaking of films and everything else, who are some of your favorite actors and also films and movies and film directors growing up? Who are some of your favorites?
As far as a filmmaker, I think my inspiration, I love Michael Mann. I love the thriller of Michael Mann. He's so incredible at that. I love the Tarantino model. I understand so many things come from proper casting and knowing and understanding acting. So that's my filmmaking influences primarily. And then as an actor, there's a lot more. I remember watching, De Niro when he was young, and De Niro just blew me away and I think a lot of people now who didn't see him in the 70s and 80s. He was incredible, from Deer Hunter to Cape Fear, to go back and look at what he was doing, whether it's The Godfather or just absolutely mind blowing. And I really took a lot from that seeing him act, just looking physically pretty much the same and displaying a completely different character. And I believed every second of it. That was mind blowing. And then that was kind of what I wanted to do. So I pursued, my acting classes and my acting coaches after I started understanding the process of method acting, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. And also, you talk about Robert De Niro, going way back when and fast forwarding and teaming up with Al Pacino, who is similar to De Niro. What are your thoughts on The Irishman?
You know what? I really enjoyed it, but I'm built differently from the era of films that were slow burn, that we didn't need the instant gratification. If you look at several of my films, they have a slow burn and a takeoff. I enjoy that. I understand a lot of people get frustrated with it. The only negative I have with The Irishman is I think that the de-aging did not work as well as they thought it would. I've seen YouTubers do a better job at the de-aging than they did in the film. I would say that's probably the negative, but I enjoyed the storytelling. I think the shots are amazing. I think, when you're looking at spectacular filmmakers and spectacular actors, how do you not hit a home run? I think it was really well made.
Mm-hmm. And of course, for 3 hours as well, too, which for people with instant gratification may be long, but for those who are movie buffs, 3 hours was well worth it. And of course, I took time on my schedule with my wife and said, just set aside 3 blocks, just get a bunch of popcorn and a lot of drinks, and just munch slowly on The Irish. Yep. I said, we're going to be here a while, guys.
Yep. Yeah. And, I really enjoy when we do storytelling right. I've had a couple of people review my films and they say the movie started a little slow. They could have cut some of that out. And then they talk about how much they loved it. And I'm like, the reason you loved it is because we did all the setups and because you did fall in love with the characters, because we established them and you got to know them. That's why you loved it. All the good things that you said afterwards were said because of what I did, but they can't connect the dots sometimes. But there's something special to storytelling when you allow the story to brew. Just have a little bit of patience and it'll be all worth it.
I think that's something we need to tell all the youngsters out there who are into instant gratification. Lessons learned from Harley Wallen. Well, speaking of films with storytelling, we'll talk about some of the films you've been in. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, check out the latest novel by well-known award-winning author Mia Motion Zia of No Time for Love, called Missing, an extraordinary relationship between two ordinary people based on real-life events that go through 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and the ones you love be the first to go missing. Check out the book on Amazon and other retailers, available on all formats today. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on mikewagnershow.com and over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple, and coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, TuneIn, Pandora, and more. Plus heard worldwide on Geo7, Radio Public, Himalayan, Overcast, Shoutcast, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with the multi-talented actor and also behind-the-scenes guy Harley Wallen here on the Mike Wagner Show, and we talked about his upbringing in Sweden. Began martial arts and breakdancing at 7. He was on the popular Swedish TV show, and also he's been in Agromonsgate, Eternal Code, My Breaking Point, Deceitful, and also Betrayed, bennettssong, Moving Parts. We'll talk about an upcoming film in just a minute. Right now, let's talk about some of your movies you've been in, and tell us more about it, like starting with your first one. And I'm trying to look, Donate or Else, or you can start with Broken, Set Me Free. So tell us about some of your films and which one you like to start with.
Well, the very beginning of things were the short films, Set Me Free and Broken. They were the ones where we tried to figure out if we knew enough to even do this at all. The truth of the matter is, we actually learned that we were not equipped to make film. We did not know enough. So what we did separately after the 2 short films is that we pursued education. So Walbert, my partner, went and learned the technical side of things. He learned to do audio and video very well. And I went to film school, rocketjump.com. It's an online film school. And I pursued directing by doing so. And then our next big venture was Moving Parts. We brought in a director, Jerry Hayes, who's still a good friend and a mentor for me today. We brought him on board. So I co-directed with him so I could learn what it really looks like to direct a film. And that was the kind of the experience to get me started.
Mm-hmm. Also, you later, moved on bigger things like Deceitful, Moving Part, bennettssong, Betrayed, Eternal Code, and also Agromonsgate, which also got some really good acclaim. And tell us more about those.
Yeah, Agromonsgate premiered in Beverly Hills in February of this year. And it was a really wild ride. It was our first attempt at a horror movie. And I wanted to make it, with the greats in mind, like, Stephen King is a big influence for me. I love Hitchcock. I love Wes Craven. So I wanted to build my story the way they used to, where it was a fantastic story. And then what happened was horror, rather than just buckets of blood and no story to things. So we were pretty nervous if there was going to be an audience that would be receptive to that style of movie still. It was really amazing when we found out it's sold to Mexico. Wow. And it's dubbed, and it's, it's done pretty well around the globe. And we've done that before, but doing that with a horror film built in the olden ways, in the olden days, with strong storytelling, strong drama, and then horror being an element in the film.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
It sounded like a lot of fun, and boy, I can imagine, being in Mexico and wanting to see that movie as well too. And of course, you also worked with some great people like Melnovak, Richard Tyson, and Billy Ware, Tom Sizemore, Dennis Haskins, Corbin Bernsen, tarareid, and tell us about those guys and what's it like working with them.
Well, yeah, on Agromonsgate, I had Jan Birch and Laureen Landon, two kind of cult icons. Jan Birch from The People Under the Stairs, which is going to have his 30th anniversary next year. And then Laureen Landon from Maniac Cop and some other same thing, cult films. But then the ones you're talking about, some of the bigger names like Corbin Bernsen, we just released a sequel to bennettssong called A Bennettssong Holiday. And it just released a month ago. And Corbin was breathtaking. That guy can still just throw down with the best of them. Him, Tomsizemore, Richard Tyson, some of those guys are just absolutely still have it all. And when you put them on screen with good direction, good lighting, and a good cinematographer, to allow them to be captured, they still have it. They're still absolutely breathtaking. Corbin, if you get a chance to watch, if you're into holiday movies, A Bennettssong Holiday, he plays about as strong of a villain as you can in a family movie. He is a hoot, and he is definitely. I remember when we had an online premiere because we're now living through this mess of COVID, so we couldn't go out and do our regular red carpet. But he said, because he hadn't seen it before, he said, "Harley, you could have told me I came off a little too strong for a family movie." And I said, "No, I love it because, in all honesty, the kids can handle a villain. They have bullies at school, so to see a villain it's not bad." He definitely pulled it off. He was amazing.
It sounds amazing. I remember he was in LA Law in his beginnings, and I remember he was in Major League, and I thought, wow, that was just a hilarious movie. He can do it all and just about everything. And I remember watching Major League, and I still crack up every time I see that movie.
That's a great movie. He was also in Psych, a series that I believe was on Sci-Fi, and he was really good. He played I think he was the dead father of one of them, and he kept coming in and giving his 5 cents on things. It was a really, really good as well. He's a phenomenal actor.
Mm-hmm. And of course, not only you being in films, you also like to be in your own films. So talk about your company, what's coming up, and more. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition way. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention The Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, check out the latest novel by well-known award-winning author and Emotion Zia of No Time for Love called Missing, an extraordinary relationship between two ordinary people based on real-life events that go through 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and the ones you love will be the first to go missing. Check out the book on Amazon and other retailers, available on all formats today. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com and over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, TuneIn, and Pandora. Heard worldwide on Geo7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and Overcast, Shoutbox, and more. Take The Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with actor and the very multi-talented Harley Wallen here on The Mike Wagner Show. We talked about some of the films he's been in, Betrayed, Bennettssong, Moving Parts, and a lot more. And talked about a little bit about the Bennettssong Holiday, and we're going to maybe talk a bit about that. But first, you're also tacked on a new title on you, which you're the founder of Painted Creek Productions. And tell us more about that.
Yeah, Painted Creek Productions is my production company. Me and my wife, Katie, we co-founded that back when we started making feature films, and never looked back. But yeah, that's the production company, the umbrella that we make all these films under. So yeah, it's been a great ride.
Mhm. And what are some of the projects you've done, and what do you got upcoming for us under Painted Creek?
So under Painted Creek, we started with Moving Parts. It's a whodunit thriller. We went into Enigma, which is a supernatural thriller. Then we did Abstruse with Tomsizemore. I wanted kind of to learn a little bit of the beginnings. I thought to myself, if there was a prequel to American Psycho, what would it look like? That was pretty much what I did. I thought to myself, like, how did he become? What happened to create this insanity within him? So that's almost what the template for Abstruse. After that, we did the original bennettssong, and that movie has done incredibly well. It's on network TV now, Fuse TV. It's on Super Channel, so it's done incredibly well. And that's a family romantic comedy. And then we went from there to Betrayed, which is a very dark turn. That's a human trafficking film. John Savage is in it. He's another guy that's absolutely breathtaking. He was somebody that I can't wait to work with again. Very, very impressed with him on screen. Then we moved on from that, and the next project was Agromonsgate, and that was the horror film we just touched on. Then we made Eternal Code, and Eternal Code is probably been one of the more acclaimed so far. We've had a lot of people really like it. It's done incredibly well internationally. I believe it's in 30 countries now.
Wow.
So it's been dubbed into 3 languages, which I think is cool. I can't wait to get my paws on a copy and hear myself in Spanish and French and German.
And don't forget Sweden, too. It's like hear yourself in Sweden.
Well, Sweden doesn't dub. They subtitle.
Oh, really? Okay. Why is that? I thought every country did their own, dubbing in their languages. I thought every country did that.
No, most countries speak English well enough that subtitles are less invasive, so they stay closer to the true storytelling. Because obviously, when you hire an actor to dub it, you're not gonna get the same level of enthusiasm and fullness generally. So most countries actually don't do that anymore. There's only a few left. It's mostly Spanish-speaking, German, and French-speaking countries that still do the dubbing. Most other countries are comfortable enough with the English that subtitles do better. Yeah.
And maybe think of all the Chinese films with Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee, where they have all the English in there.
Oh, yeah.
I just crack up every time I hear that.
It's comedy and action. Yeah. I can't wait. I want to see that so bad. I want to see all of our films that have made it, to all these different countries and hear them in the different languages. It'd be a lot of fun.
I think I'll take on a project where I'll be in a film. I like to have someone dub me in those languages. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. You're right.
Yeah, for sure.
And where can we find all your films at?
They are all on Vudu, and most of them are on Amazon. The catch with when you sell the license to a TV station, it can't be on 2 of them at the same time. So because bennettssong and Eternal Code especially has sold to networks, they're not always available at Amazon, but right now they're all on Vudu.
They're all on Vudu. Okay, so we'll check those out here. We're here with Harley Wallen here, the Mike Wagner Show, in just a few more minutes here. We're, of course, a big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. And what can we expect from you guys in 2021 and beyond, Harley?
Well, 2021 has probably the film that has the biggest chance of truly breaking us into the mainstream. I have a horror film called Ash and Bone. And I remember I talked to my writer, Brett Miller, and I said, my next step in this, I want to do something that has the feel of House of Wax, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Hills Have Eyes, that 2000 to 2007 maybe look and feel. And we talked a lot about where we would go with that story. And he wrote a fantastic script. And we are in the final stages now of finalizing a trailer. And the film is just significantly better than anything we've done. So I'm really curious what's going to happen with this. I really do think it could break us mainstream. We have terrific performances. Jamie Bernadette from I Spit on Your Grave, Deja Vu, is one of our main characters. We have Melnovak that you've mentioned a few times, who's been in a couple of films with me. He plays a terrific role in this. And then some other amazing. Jimmy Doom from Kill the Irishman is in it. A very, very strong cast. So I can't wait for that to be out. I think Ash and Bone is going to absolutely set the world on fire. Hoping that we're going to be, again, taking that film mainstream. And then we're making a follow-up. So right now we're in fairly early pre-production, but we have a vampire story brewing called Beneath Us All. And what we're essentially doing is we are rebooting the origin of vampires from a Viking origin instead. So instead of Romania, instead of Dracula, we're rebooting the whole thing. The origin of vampires is Viking in this tale, and it's a really good script. Brett Miller again did something absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to pursue that. And then we have what will be our biggest project to date. We have a true story. Anybody who watched Inside Evil with Chris Cuomo have seen this. There's a big case about domestic violence that went really wild. A woman with two boys and her now ex-husband. And we are essentially doing a true life story, telling her story and what happened to her. And that's going to be what we shoot next summer of 2021. That's going to be very impactful. The script is already written. Jeffrey Calhoun wrote it. And this guy, I mean, this is the best script I think I've ever read. So this is going to be a tremendous journey, and especially getting the opportunity to tell a true story. It's exciting and a bit intimidating.
Wow, that is a lot on a plate, and I'm so looking forward to this smorgasbord. You've got a heck of a future, Harley, and I gotta say that. And definitely keep us up to date and keep updating frequently. It sounds like you've got a lot going on, and maybe even in 2022 and 23. I'm so looking forward to it, Harley.
Yeah, me too.
That's amazing.
We didn't even touch on the TV series. We're actually meeting with our executive producers today and screening the first 2 episodes. We have a crazy big buzz on this TV series.
Wow.
Where it's a story that takes place. It's kind of an interesting story how this happened, but the guy who wrote the original script to this and had the original pitch for this met with me, and he said, I've been watching you do with this for a while. And he's like, I think you fit to play the main character, Nick, who owns a strip club, and all kinds of crazy things happens too. And it's kind of in that Breaking Bad, the good bad guy, the bad good guy, whatever you want to call it. And I looked at the script and I'm like, this is phenomenal, but this is written for Hollywood. This is written with a Harvey Keitel or a main name that's a powerhouse that can carry a whole series. I said, I don't think that's realistic to do independently. I think we need to broaden this a little bit. So we ended up having a conversation. They loved my ideas. So between Tevis Markham and Steve Capira, me and my wife, we widened this story. We added all the things that I feel like we've lost a lot of man shows over the last 10 years. The Sopranos is gone. And that was something that men love to click on and watch. It's something for us. We had Sons of Anarchy. We loved it. We watched it. It was something for us. And there's not a whole lot of that anymore. I think the Ozark is probably the closest thing I can think, but that has even mellowed out and become kind of a show for anyone. But we kind of took that approach to bring those elements back when we rewrote it. And like I said, the first 2 episodes are complete. The other 6 episodes are in post audio, and we're picking a sales rep for the TV series this week, and then we'll see where it lands. But it's something that I think has no limit. It's a phenomenal story, and I'm blessed to be a part of.
And don't you forget about it. Don't forget about it. You mentioned Sopranos, I think. Yeah, forget about it. But then in this case, don't forget about it.
Don't forget about it.
That's right. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career, Harley?
My mom. My mom is the biggest influence of anything I've ever done. She's kind of like my guiding light. I still talk to her, pretty much every week, and she's back in Sweden still. But she's just the perfect mom who always cares, always listens, always smarter than you. She's just perfect for me.
Ain't that the truth? Don't how parents are these days, especially moms. It's like they claim to be smarter than you, but deep inside they still want to learn from you.
Yep. Yeah, she's been a great influence because such gentle guidance, and mostly just listening to me and letting me figure stuff out. But I think it's very important as a parent to allow kids to figure themselves out, to give them strong boundaries, and then allow them to figure it all out, because it's not that easy. And she was really good at that.
Exactly. You're right. And of course, we're in a society, I hate to say, where parents just overlooked everything. I mean, I remember growing up, there are times I had to figure things out myself, and I actually did a lot better than when parents did it for me at times. No offense to them out there, but it's like, you grow older and older, you're like, hey, I can figure this out, give you confidence. And of course, I mean, how is he going to learn mistakes? That's it's very important too. You're right. And for your parents out there, please listen up, especially Harley. He knows all about it.
It's pretty wild, but I think that you're right. I think parents are either helicopter parents or they're almost negligent and not involved. And I think you got to find that happy medium of guiding without steering. It's tricky, but allow the kids to screw up, because that's how they're going to learn a lot.
Mm-hmm. It's exactly right. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Well, I think the biggest thing is to not give up. If you feel called to act or make films, or in all truth, whatever your desire is, as long as it doesn't harm anybody else, it's planted in you for a reason. It's a seed within you for a reason. Don't quit on it. When I had my first summer job in Sweden when I was in college, I took care of elderly people that were kind of in-home care, and to listen to them, none of them regretted how much money or how much stuff. Those things didn't matter anymore. The only thing that mattered was family, pursuit of happiness, pursuit of wisdom, and the ability to actually have something to account for at the end of their life and say, I created this. Not a single one said, I wish I worked more 12-hour days. Not a single one said, I wish I had another 100,000 in my bank account. All those things that matter so much to us don't matter at the end of the day. And the sooner we figure that out, the better off we are.
And that's a good lesson to learn as well, too. Once again, Harley Wallen, actor and also owner and founder of Penny Creek Productions here on the Mike Wagner Show. Harley, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love you back on in 2021 and beyond. Once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your works?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, most of my films are available on hard copy. So if you're a collector, you can hop on Amazon or most of the outlets that have DVDs. If you're looking for the online VOD, again, most of them are on Amazon. Most of them are on Vudu, and a bunch of them are on your Xfinity or AT&T or whatever cable as well. So they're easy to find. As far as finding me, Harley Wallen on Facebook is probably the most interactive place. My page is open, so if I'm full on friends, which happens a lot, you can just follow and you can still interact with me as if you were a friend on my page. So that's a great place. I also am very active on Instagram. So feel free to follow me on official Harley Wallen. And we also have Painted Creek Productions on Instagram and Facebook. I am on Twitter, but you're probably going to be really disappointed because I don't like I'm not a big fan of Twitter. It's not as interactive as the other sites. So Facebook and Instagram would probably be the two best places. But if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's Harley the Swede, back from my fighting days. It has my fight name on there. So if you want to hang out with me there, go ahead and do so.
Sounds fantastic. Once again, Harley, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely great. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor.
Thank you, Mike.
Keep us up to date and love you back on in 2021 and beyond. And don't forget to keep in touch and keep dishing me updates. It feels like I'm at a banquet right now. You're just fantastic.
Thanks a bunch.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hi, this is Mia Mohsen-Zia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People Based Upon Real Life Relationship, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon. Do read it. I'm sure you'll love it. It's www.miamohsenzia.com and www.amazon.com/Mia
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartradio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.